17 Court Watch tonight. Shocking developments in the case of a brutal child murder in Bakersfield more than 2 decades ago. The Kern County man convicted in this murder is set to be released on parole Wednesday. 17's Jenny Huh sat down for an exclusive interview with the victim's mother.
I go to bed every night hearing my baby cry. Do they not see that this man don't need to be out? That he don't deserve this. My son deserves to be alive.
The reality is, Tammy, tomorrow this man is going to be released.
I'm so mad. I'm so angry.
On November 27th, 1999, 20-month-old Jonathan Bell was abused and killed by his mother's then boyfriend of 3 months. The man, Michael Todd Piniella, was 29 at the time. The mother, Tammy Bell, just 23. The two are now 54 and 48 respectively, and Piniella is set to be released on parole Wednesday.
Went to go crawl in bed with my son because my son always sleeps with me at night, and I pulled him closer to me, and he was, kind of cold-eyed. Mother's instinct, she knows something's wrong, when he ain't putting his arms around you. I remember grabbing him and running through the house, screaming, Mike, where are you at?
Piniella was arrested. Little Jonathan was declared dead at the scene. According to court documents, he suffered at least 50 bruises to his hips, head, face, and extremities. His small bowel was twisted and torn. He died from multiple blunt impacts to his abdomen, which caused internal bleeding and dehydration.
I don't even remember my son's his services, besides pulling him out of the casket. As a mother, you think that you would see, signs.
Were there ever any signs?
No.
And he wasn't abusive towards you?
No.
That fateful day, Belle had left Jonathan under Piniella's care as she ran errands, like checking in on her older son, 5-year-old Alex, who was living with her mom at the time, visiting her friend for lunch, and picking up methamphetamine. Both Piniella and Belle were using at that time. A jury in October 2000 found Piniella guilty of first-degree murder and assault of a child under 8, resulting in death. He was sentenced to 25 years to life and is currently housed at the Correctional Training Facility in Soledad. But in July 2021, a bombshell. Piniella had been granted parole by the California Board of Parole Hearings. In part due to new state law, Piniella became eligible for elderly parole, reduced requirements for inmates at least 50 who served 20 years of their sentence. Belle attended these hearings.
That's the first time I've seen Michael since then. And for him, no remorse, no sympathy, no...
Belle says it's also the first time she heard the details of that gruesome night.
Like, he tried to get off the bed and he started crying, and that he threw him against the wall, and then he drug him back up on the bed, and I'm like, oh my God, who does that?
Governor Gavin Newsom reversed this parole decision, but just 3 years later, in October 2024, the board again granted Piniella parole. This time, Newsom did not reverse the decision. His office did not respond to requests for comment on why.
Don't call me a victim. Don't call my son a victim. If you can't treat us like victims.
Belle says her Jonathan was a baby that never cried, a child with the bluest eyes and blondest hair, just learning to talk.
These were the shoes that I put on him that morning, and they're still tied from that day. I won't untie them, and they for a long time they had crackers on the bottom of the shoe.
Jenny Huh, 17 News.